I first met the abstract artist Tremain Smith back in the fall of 2009 when I made some videos about a beautiful show she had at the Rosenfeld Gallery in Philadelphia. You just cannot beat Tremain, both as an artist and a person. She is tops in my book. So I was very excited to learn she was having a new show at her longtime gallery. I asked her how her work and life have changed since the last show. Tremain, the last time I met with you for a show, you were on the verge of destitution. How is your financial life these days?
Well, surprisingly, it's much better than it was. Better than it's been for a long time because I've been teaching. I'm teaching as an independent contractor. I go into schools, and I'm there either for a year residency, sometimes it's only 10 weeks. So I've been doing a lot of that, and it's a steady income. But I haven't had as much time in the studio. In the last year, work started to sell again. So this year I've actually made a very conscious decision. I turned down 2 teaching jobs, which is like saying no to money, so that I could get in the studio and see if I can actually start to sell some more work. This is brand new work for me. It's very geometric compared to my earlier work. It's so new to me that I wasn't sure where it's going and where it's unfolding, but when I did come in and see it here on the walls, I feel pleased. I think it might be integrating some of the earlier work, which is more free, less hard-edged, and maybe a little more earth tones with some of this hard-edged bright colors, and we'll see what happens with the integration, and I think that might be the direction that I'm going. But right now I've been very, very obsessed with working with different variations of the square. Right triangles, breaking it apart, putting it back together in different ways. And this one particular shape that you see over and over again is almost like a crystal. It's kind of a conduit for me. That's what it sort of symbolized, something coming through or movement. And it's in a lot of these pieces. And it is basically the square that's broken down and put back together. I'm using wax, but more as a basis for painting on top of and for collaging elements, and less as a way to create texture. So this is much more painterly than the other work, that had a lot more texture and wax. I am also using real straight edges. I'm carving into the wax with a ruler and a sharpened tool and then rubbing paint into it, and that's newer. So a lot of the drawn lines are from carving into the wax. And I'm still collaging, you can still see fabric on there, but a lot more almost meticulous painting. I even had to buy new brushes because I had to be more careful. And I wasn't just using the Home Depot brushes. So yeah, it's more careful. I start with the bare panel and a ruler and a pencil usually, and just begin to make a grid. This time the grid is diagonal rather than horizontal and vertical. And that's really new for me, and it's a totally different energy in the work. But I'll start by drawing the grid and then a layer of wax, and then I'll carve then another grid on top of it. So it gets more and more complicated as the layers build up, and then I find the shapes within that. I still don't know where I'm going, but I start out with something that looks like a planned geometric grid. I use a compass and a straight edge. And I've studied Islamic designs. That's where a lot of these influences come from. I'm teaching Islamic art with an Arabic arts and culture organization called Al Bustan. So I'm teaching this to students, and it's step by step building up grids and then finding patterns within it. So that's influenced my work a lot. I like to teach, but I love to paint. I want that balance. I would rather have it balanced more in the studio than more teaching.
Apparently you have a daughter who may have a $60,000 a year school bill, I overheard. How are you going to cover that?
I've got one daughter in her senior year in college and one going into college next year. So we'll just take it as it comes. All the colleges are too expensive. We'll see where it goes, but my daughter, who's in her last year, is a fashion design major, and she's doing her senior thesis collaborating with me. She's taking my images and printing them on fabric and making clothing out of my work, which is really exciting for me.
Tremain Chanel or Coco Smith?
There we go. We'll see where it goes. But I'm proud of her.
I will definitely be first in line for a t-shirt.
There you go. Thanks, John.
No, Tremain, thank you. And I'm already looking forward to your next show. Maybe I can wear my t-shirt.